This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Good Lord.
Woo. Well, this is My Worst Date podcast.
Wow.
What an intro.
Nice.
Wow.
I didn't even know we were recording.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm Christina.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Cassie.
Well, tattoos out of the way and talking about things that are happening this week. I think we're all pretty eyes on the news with what's happening with Gabby Petito. And hopefully there'll be some resolution or something by the time this episode comes out Wednesday. But
I got a million questions.
A million
questions because there are legitimately zero answers right now.
Did this motherfucker think that he could just drive home and just like be all shoulders?
It's
thinking
bold.
that nobody would be like, where's the Gabby?
It is so bold. Like, just to not even, no plan. Like, no plan. You don't, like, he's not talking to anybody right now, so we don't really know what he's going to end up saying. But just the idea, knowing my parents, the idea that you could come home without something to tell them, like anything.
No. Oh, yeah.
Anything. Like, oh, she stormed off. We had a fight and she stormed off, or I left her, or like anything.
She threw the
other
keys
than
at
just
me.
like
I have 1,000.
decay, and I just came back and didn't say anything. Like
My
what?
parents would be like, you
Not
better
one
tell us
fucking
yeah,
word.
exactly.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just like, what's going on with, because she lived with the parents for a while
I
too.
just cannot. Like, it is, I cannot imagine my son coming home, having had his girlfriend live with me, knowing they're going to get married.
Yeah.
Like, say what?
Yeah.
Say what? You have her van
Yeah.
here, but she is not here. There is a missing piece to this puzzle.
He was like, maybe if I just don't say anything, no one will notice.
He's like,
It's like
He's
those
just
little
being-
kids that play hide behind their
Can't see 'em.
hands. And
Where'd they go?
Where'd they go? No, and I'm struggling to find an innocuous explanation for any of this. You know what I mean?
Because it's been too long. Because he hasn't said anything.
Because you would say something. I mean, that's
You
really
would.
the thing. Because listen,
You'd at least be upset. Like,
you're traveling the country in a van. Yeah, things could happen.
Oh, sure.
Things could happen. But if you're traveling with somebody who presumably cares about you, they would report it. They would report it. Period.
Yeah.
Like they would report it probably not long after it happened in whatever state you were in when it happened.
Yeah.
They would certainly report it by the time they got back to Florida, like from Wyoming.
that is a big
like,
drive.
yeah,
It is.
It's, and I just can't imagine somebody just like making that drive without,
Yeah.
like, it's, I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, and the more that I look it up too, like I guess there's a TikTok like user that talked to the FBI, like her and her boyfriend picked home dude up, like in the middle of the Grand Teton. He like hitchhiked with them
What?
out of the park or
Alone?
whatever alone, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like my fiance is like in the van posting on social media, you know, and I just wanted to go hiking and camping by myself for a few days," and they were like, he didn't have anything with him but a tarp. So they're like, how did you eat, sleep? Like, where's your water? Where's your food? Like, all this stuff. It's so shady.
Wow.
Isn't that's frightening to me. This is a future Tainted Love story.
100%.
I am 100% sure that one of us will be covering this on our Tainted Love.
This story,
That doesn't look good, right?
Hell no.
No,
It looks,
no.
None of this looks good. None of this. You drove across the country and you couldn't come up with a story even by that time? Like anything. His silence is volumes.
The most suspicious thing. It is the most suspicious thing. Yeah.
And it's just heartbreaking for those parents who are like pleading and being like, you're a parent. Like, we can't sleep. We can't eat. Like, can you tell us anything? You know what?
He's a parent?
No.
To his parents.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah. It's Gabby's parents pleading with his parents. Like, please, just like anything that you know, like our daughter lived with you. Like,
yeah,
it's this story's so big just because of how strange it is. I mean,
well, I think it also combines a lot of things that are very, for lack of a better word, like sexy in the media. It's like van life. It's like a complete mystery. It's a young, beautiful woman.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like it combines a lot of aspects that are.
I think you missed one of the key features here.
White woman?
White.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't going to say it, but
you should say
it was
it.
implied. I feel like white was implied.
By the camp. Well, I mean, just taking all of this into account, you know, and relating it back to our like dating show, I think I can confidently give advice and say, don't go camping.
Listen, I love camping, and I also
or
realize,
with a large group.
Yes, exactly.
This is such a hard thing to talk about with somebody, like when you're talking about someone who's still missing, because it's hard to. It's easier. I know we talk about like true crime a lot on this show, and there's a lot of conversations around like the morality around like talking about true crime and things like that. But it's easier to distance yourself when it's a case that's has a resolution.
Right. Yeah.
In this situation, it's hard because
there is no resolution.
We don't know anything.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't know anything. And it's very scary
Yeah.
because I would have, you know, I know we just joked about like, oh, white was implied because she was in that van life, but like I would have done that in my early 20s.
Oh,
for
same.
sure.
Full
and like,
same.
If it was like between that and being like stuck in my hometown during a pandemic living with my boyfriend's parents, I would have van lifed it out, you know, for sure. So
gotten to see the country and everything.
Blog. Hell yeah. Listen, nothing against that van life. Like, I'm like, good for you for getting out there trying to do something. And it's all very.
Well, it is scary because
scary.
I think that's the thing that makes our Tainted Love segment on this show so scary is just the idea that you might not know the person you're sleeping next to or dating because, you know, I love camping. I would love to van life. I like hiking, but there's a reason why I'm like, I'm not hiking with a stranger.
Hell no, right?
I'm not, you know, because there is a certain amount of trust involved in like going out into very remote places with one other person.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like you just said, you don't know who you're sleeping next to because this is her fucking fiance.
Right.
We're not talking about a fucking first date.
Right.
We're talking about somebody who just like, this is the person you're going to marry.
Well, and then I think to tie it back in, this is even scarier because I think a lot of people are dealing with something like this right now with how much life has changed during the quarantine. Like, people are different. They're getting to see their partners in such a different light because they're with them all the time, you know, having gone through quarantine. And I think people are still mostly hunkered down inside under high pressure, high stress. Like the divorce rate is through the roof right now.
Through the roof right now. Yeah, I mean, certainly I feel like you're Anthony and I both work from home still. Yeah. So it's like we are together all the time, and it didn't used to be like that. Like we used to be able to come home at the end of the day and talk about our work day. Sure. And like that doesn't exist. I know what you did all day. Like
I saw.
Yes, I was here. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I do think that kind of like intense cohabitation all the time, constant companionship can put a lot of strain on a relationship. And you certainly are you can be possibly seeing sides of your partner that you didn't see before.
Yeah.
I think who it's working for the most is the people who have gotten together during the pandemic because they're like going through the tough stuff when they're still in the honeymoon phase, right? Yeah. They can still like, they're at the place where they're like, forgivable. We can move past this. We can go here or there or whatever. You know, like I think when you're with somebody for like 15 years, you're like, God damn it. If you miss that motherfucking, you know.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably the people right in the middle who are struggling the most, like out of the honeymoon phase, but haven't been with the person long enough that you know a lot of those like we've been together for a decade quirks. Yeah, you know, like you're in that like 2-3 year range.
Oof, yeah,
where you're like,
yeah,
it's heavy because I mean I know myself. I like my breakdowns are not just limited to period week anymore. It can be triggered by anything these days.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I saw a TikTok earlier that was a woman saying, like, how did you know that your period was coming up? And she told this story and she was crying. She was like crying and she was telling this story about like bottlenose dolphins who were like bringing things to shore.
Yes, the Australia, because they miss their humans.
They miss their humans. She's just like
sobbing.
Rivers.
You're like, that's how.
And I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's how.
Yeah, but
you start crying watching commercials and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But here's the thing with the whole like Gabby case and everything like that. Of course, it's still going on. Of course, we don't know anything.
Sure.
So, you know, this is all just
We're not even suggesting that we do at all. I don't think like
No.
we're not. This is it is just a, you know, it's a wild case.
I hope it's just all a huge misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And that she's fine.
It just
That's
takes
my
me
hope.
back to that Kylie and JC or
I was just thinking that as well.
That whole JC and what was it?
I don't the woman from Hawaii, right?
They're from Jesus. I did the story Rexburg, Idaho.
Yeah, but they moved to Hawaii, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a little back and forth. There's a big story. Anyway, but like them missing and they're like, again, all shoulders like,
Yeah.
But you know what? Even if it was, yes, of course, that would be best case scenario that it's all just one big misunderstanding. I mean, I think that we need to tattoo a red flag on that guy's forehead regardless of what happens after this, because I'm like, even if it is as simple as like she was like, you know what, I don't want to hang out with you anymore.
You.
Fucking deuces. I need some time to myself, and she resurges and it's fine, or resurfaces and it's fine. There's still something so sinister and strange about like his behavior.
Yeah,
that I'm like, there needs to be a warning
label.
on this man.
Yeah,
let's put a tag on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah. Regardless of how it turns out.
Yeah. Oh. Well, on lighter news, we also had the Met Gala this week, which we talked about.
Oh, man.
I think actually I might just wear Kim Kardashian's look like all the time now.
Yeah.
I find it's extremely helpful. I would never have to do my makeup,
which
is great.
Someone did her prep. Like, and that's what they were like. Did you ever feel have you ever felt useless? Someone did Kim Kardashian's face for the Met Gala.
No.
I don't know if it's because maybe she took that off later at like an after party or something. But yeah, someone did her like face.
Wouldn't it get all smeared up?
Yeah,
on the inside of that.
What?
Or maybe it was just skincare, but I don't know. There
As
were
the
pictures.
hairstylist, I take this very personally. I am very upset right now.
Oh my God.
I am. But she did have a ponytail out the back. Like she had like a ponytail hole.
Yeah, and it was a long ass ponytail too.
Yeah.
That thing was expensive.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and then I think to the VMAs or to another event earlier in the week, she was wearing it was like a BDSM outfit. It was like the same thing, but it was like it was like a pleather mask.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
yes,
I don't know.
yes.
I don't know what her
What
deal
if
is.
what if she like hurt herself? She got like a big zit. something happening. She's
That's
like,
what it is, just a big zit.
Just cover it
You know,
up.
it feels very Kanye to me. That whole very like kind of
Are they
weird.
back together?
I hope not, Kim.
I know. There's a lot of rumors because of the Donda listening party.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Kim.
Hey, I can't say anything. I've walked back before when I should have kept on running away. But
hey, it happens.
It happens.
Sometimes you're just kind of like, devil, right? You're like,
and she's got kids.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's much harder too. Yeah. You got kids to think about.
Dude, we're all about the touchy subjects this go around. We're touching all kinds of things.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I feel like we should fuck, marry, kill like we're stressed.
Oh.
We're stressed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we should fuck, marry, kill like we're stressed at the Met Gala.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta look it up, I think.
All right,
I can't remember.
Let's look up the worst looks.
I've got to say I was not a fan of the theme.
No,
and
it was very
so
vague.
awful.
And I really did not like Debbie Harry's
Awful.
look.
Awful.
It really
I don't think I
was.
saw
I
her.
hate it.
It looked
She looked like a fucking ripped flag.
It looks like a Bud Light commercial.
It was like
to me.
No.
It was a crime against America.
And listen, I'm not right now. I'm wearing like ripped jeans, a ball cap. Like
I'm wearing sweatpants, so I am in no position.
Listen, we get to judge them. We get to judge them. Okay, there's very little right now that we can take joy in. Let us have this.
I'll tell you who fucking looked great though is Zoe Kravitz.
Of course, she did.
God,
of
dude,
course.
that naked dress that she had on, I was thirsty.
I feel like she wore exactly what we
needed her to.
and what I feel like she should wear. Like that's her vibe.
Somebody put Pete Davidson and Tom Brown as one of the worst, and I'm like, I didn't hate it as much because it is the Met Gala.
It felt a little
Ciara,
David
though,
Rose to me.
Looks like she's straight up wearing a what in the fuck? She looks like she's wearing turf.
You know who
It's awful.
Who failed the assignment is Channing Tatum, who just came in a basic ass tux.
Mm-hmm. Listen,
and then also, and I love him so much that it like breaks my heart. But Frank Ocean and that little Shrek baby.
Yes,
what
that
was that?
I didn't see it.
I didn't understand how did that relate to the theme.
I don't know. And like I love Frank
What was
Ocean
the Shrek
with my
baby?
whole heart. My whole heart.
Yeah, there were some real interesting looks. Listen, it's the Met Gala, so it's over the top and everything.
Yeah.
Listen,
Except Rocky just wore mom's quilt. Like, oh, so good.
There was the girl in the like horse thing.
Kim Petras. Yeah.
Listen, I didn't hate it as much as I should have. I really should hate it more. But I'm like, it is the Met Gala. And there's part of me that's like,
you know, I actually feel like more on theme than other people.
I know.
I'm like, a horse girl? That's pretty
American. That's very, very.
You're right, though. That is like straight up an Afghan you're grabbing.
Yeah, my grandma definitely made that Captain Crunch quilt at one time.
No, this is a very unflattering photo of Channing Tatum,
It
too.
is. He doesn't look hot there
Not
at all.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so many to choose from.
Well, I'm gonna go with Frank Ocean just because.
Yeah, the Shrek baby.
I love
I haven't
him.
seen it. Do you have a picture?
Yeah, here.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Ciara. I fucking hate that so much, and I love football, but she looks
the football
absurd.
dress.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's not.
So keep in mind that it also moves. It's like a mechanical baby.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Exactly. What is the message? I don't.
What
Yeah.
did he?
I don't know. We
What?
don't know. We don't know.
Why?
So many questions.
Why? And his hair looks like a tennis ball.
Oh, and he's such a sweet baby angel.
Oh! I just found it. I just read. Oh no! Best accessory. Woof.
Best accessory.
Woof. Woof.
Listen, there were some good
Awful.
looks too. That's what
There were.
that's what's
Billie
so sad,
Eilish
but-
looked amazing.
Yeah.
She looked beautiful.
I did not love her hair.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to. I was so close, but I don't hate Kristen Stewart's rockabilly look.
No, it's definitely
Don't
not the
hate it.
worst of the night. And
No.
it's kind of fun and it's a different look for her. So I had to be like, oh wow, dude, I'm so excited to see Spencer. It looks so good.
It really does. And I was skeptical. I was skeptical.
I
that
literally don't know what you're talking
poster,
about.
Kristen Stewart is playing
Diana.
Princess Di in a new movie coming
right.
out called
That's right.
Spencer, and the poster for it is like.
Did you
art.
watch the trailer?
Yes.
Oh,
I forgot it was her.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I'm in.
impressed.
I'm
actually,
sold,
I'm
actually.
in.
Yeah.
I'm definitely very interested in watching that. So, okay, so we're going Deborah Harry, Frank Ocean, and Ciara.
Yeah.
Fuck, Mary,
Ciara,
kill.
who also is wearing her husband's football jersey number.
Oh,
so I mean, like, I appreciate. And is there anything more American than football?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're
It
going there,
doesn't
she
not hit the
definitely
mark.
fits the theme, and so does Deborah Harry's got a jean jacket.
I love that you
and-
call her Deborah.
I know,
Deborah.
like
You're
formal,
like,
We're
Deborah.
very formal.
very formal relationship with her.
Exactly. I don't feel confident, with her nickname. Dude,
Debbie can't.
Kendall
Her
Jenner's
nickname.
dress.
I thought she looked fucking stunning.
She does,
I know.
She
I
does
thought
look
she
stunning,
was
but what?
solidly
what,
the best dress.
I think she looks beautiful, and I think I like Billie Eilish's dress. But what does it have to do with the theme? I'm just
Nothing.
like, what's happened? Why?
Glamour, Hollywood glamour
nudity?
was obviously Marilyn
know.
Manson. Jesus, the Marilyn Monroe thing was obviously what she was going for Billie Eilish. I mean, that was clearly like American icon.
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess.
that makes sense.
I just
Yeah.
feel like I feel like there are just so many better ways.
Sure, I can't.
Yeah.
What is happening? I have questions. Does the Shrek baby have to be there while we're doing it? If I choose.
No. No.
Well, that changes my answer.
No.
So it's
Got
gonna
a
be
lot.
at least like one night stand, so I can be like, explain to me, please, because you know me, I don't like a mystery, and I
Yeah.
kind of want to unlock this.
I need to know.
I need
Inquiring minds need to know.
Okay, I
now.
guess here's the question. In this fuck, marry, kill scenario, are they wearing the outfits?
Oh yeah.
And they're keeping them on.
forever.
So
No,
yeah,
not forever.
whoever we marry, that's
mean-
that's their out. That's their thing, because that will change what I do.
Yeah,
For sure.
I actually also know myself, and I know that I have a problem with anthropomorphizing things, and so I can see myself really getting attached to the Shrek baby.
Oh no.
I definitely, like, if it hangs around long enough, if we were to get married, I would become very attached.
And he did
to
talk
baby
to
Shrek.
it, and he like talked to it with the reporters.
What is going on with this?
I don't know. I don't know.
Please, if anyone has the dirt on this, please
does it-
reach out.
What does
What does
it
it
have to
mean?
do with the theme?
What does it mean?
What does it have to do?
I mean, I guess
don't know.
Shrek's American.
What does it
I mean,
represent?
or is it like, this is America, we can build you a baby?
I don't.
I
No.
don't know. And the
Technology.
green hair, it's
His hair looks like a tennis ball.
yeah.
Okay.
That color is spot on tennis ball.
Did we establish rules, or is it just Debbie, Harry, Ciara, and Frank Ocean?
That's it.
Because if that's what it is, and it's not necessarily tied to their looks,
You have to have met them in that look and chose them at that look.
fair.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna marry Frank Ocean. I just think he's cool as hell. I like everything I've ever heard
Yeah,
from
his
him.
music is
his music
great.
slaps. He also seems very sweet.
Yeah.
In every interview I've ever seen with him, even with the weird baby,
Yeah.
he seems very like
I'm
just
actually-
kind.
Same.
Maybe I'm not in on the joke, and that's
Yeah,
and I
I'm
just wanna
like,
know. Now I wanna
wanna
be in on
know.
the joke.
That's okay.
Yeah.
He'll
And-
explain it to me over breakfast. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I also think he's hot. Like,
Yeah,
I
he
think
is.
he's hot.
He is.
So yeah, I'm gonna marry him. I'm gonna fuck Debbie Harry just because I want to know what it feels like to fuck an icon.
Yeah,
Because
it's Blondie.
she is Blondie.
She
That is a
is gonna
rock and roll
be-
icon.
She is going to be straight up
That's
a
okay.
pillow princess.
That's all right. I just
For
want to be able to
sure.
say I did it.
Got
It's
it.
okay. Like, I just want to fuck a rock and roll icon. So I'm going to fuck Debbie Harry. And you know what? Ciara just doesn't do it for me. She's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Insanely beautiful, legs up to here. Absolutely stunning. But there's something about her that I'm like, this is going to be
Yeah.
boring. You're not going to, and I'm so sorry. I don't know her personally, but it's the vibes. The vibes say, like, I don't feel like I'm going to be stimulated intellectually. She had that whole like second virginity thing before she married Russell
Oh.
Wilson. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
No.
They didn't fuck like the entire time they were together before they got married, and they were together for a while because of his spirituality, and she had already had a child, but like she did like the born again virginity situation before she married him. I've worked very hard to be an ex-evangelical. I don't need to get sucked back into that. Like,
See, that changes my answer
That does
because
me too.
I was going to go after.
Yep.
I was actually thinking about marrying her just because I was
Yes.
like, she seems supportive.
well,
She's
she is
supporting her
supportive,
man.
and I actually
And-
think that she would. I think she's probably a great wife.
Yeah.
Like, no shade, like just for me. Just,
yeah.
just
you got the
for
red flags
me.
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's giving me vibes.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, I think I'm also going to marry Frank Ocean. I really love his music
Me
so much. I
too.
find him very intellectual. I think I can be stimulated by that. I'm going to have to fuck Ciara.
Yeah.
I just think she's got a banging bod.
Yeah,
and
we don't have to marry that.
Yeah. Hopefully I can entice her for a night.
And
yeah. And maybe we can just watch a football game and eat some wings.
And
too.
listen,
that would be fine as well.
I'm totally fine with that.
I love
we
wings.
we know how much I love football.
So
I feel like she plays board games, which would actually be fun.
Yeah. So I gotta kill Deborah Harry. Deborah. Just because, well, for one, I mean, I love Blondie. I really, really do. But I just feel no connection with her whatsoever.
Sure.
And that outfit, just like I said,
that outfit is heinous. It's
of the
truly
outfits.
very, very bad.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not hitting it for me.
It might be the worst of the three that we've named because
Yeah.
Frank Ocean's is weird, but
Right.
the baby is almost like separate from his outfit.
And it's very intriguing.
right.
now
making us
I have
ask questions, right?
I have no questions about
No,
that
we saw
Blondie outfit.
Yeah, we got it.
what you were going for.
Yeah. We just don't like
got
what you're
it.
going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just feels like a Budweiser commercial to me.
It does. It's a tattered flag. I mean, I appreciate that she went there with it, but it really is my least favorite.
I do appreciate
outfit.
that she stayed on theme, but it's
Yeah.
almost too on theme.
That's
you know
the
what I mean?
thing. It's
Like,
hard. It is. It's like, is it too on the nose?
Correct.
And if we're thinking,
The person I think that got it the most right is Lupita,
Yeah.
who
is it the
denim.
Denim
yeah,
dress.
yeah. Where I'm
Yes.
like, that feels very on theme, but not too on the nose.
Right.
Where
You're
it's
not
like,
beating me over the head.
Right.
With it.
J-Lo too, who kind of
Oh,
did
yeah,
that little
she
bit
did
of
like
a
a
cowboy
cowboy
kind of
thing.
thing, and I was like,
yes,
very
with the
leather.
hat. Yes.
Yeah. Bitch can wear a
we
hat.
also
okay?
say
Bitch can wear a
I
hat.
didn't think about this when we were thinking about worst dress, but what the fuck was Benedict Cumberbatch wearing?
I didn't see. Oh no.
He looks like Colonel Sanders.
What?
Like he
No, I
wore like
gotta
a
look it up.
straight up like plantation
He's like,
suit.
and what is more American than that?
It is like a cream.
no.
Like I'm like, sir, you
He's
you
like,
are too white
he's
to
all,
wear that.
He's all, this is America.
Oh no, let me show you. Hold on.
Oh my
no.
gosh.
Well, while you look it up, I'm going to do mine. I am going to, gosh. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I think I'm going to definitely, I'm marrying Frank Ocean just because I have to let the outfit go.
Yeah,
The weird,
he's a nice man.
it does make me concerned that Robot Baby does end up living with us.
I'm actually not mad at Robot
I'm
Baby.
really scared.
You've come around on Robot Baby. I feel like that was a journey.
It's very, very strange.
I can't have Robot Baby cannot live with us.
It can live with us. It just cannot be in the room. Like
can't-
what if it's
it
an
cannot-
Alexa?
It can't.
it was listening to all of their conversations all night. He managed to sneak in a device.
No, I hate it.
That's
awesome.
hilarious.
Oh no.
Okay, let me show this to you. Benedict.
Ooh.
Honey. No.
My good sir. That is plantation.
And that almost even looks like a riding crop. Like what?
Yeah.
Why?
That's
what are you
real
doing?
plantation vibes right there.
No.
He's like, this is America, right? That's the theme. He's like British. He's like, I don't know. Like,
like,
this is all I know about you
I
guys.
looked up Reconstruction and this is what came up. So
Perfect.
gone with
I
that.
nailed it, right? Gone with the wind.
nailed it.
I think that I am gonna fuck Ciara. I have to. And like you said, even if we don't actually fuck, because, you know, I don't want her to feel bad about it. Like, I don't want her to feel away, like going against her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like maybe there's vibes. And I'm legit cool with watching football. But I'm in. I'm in. Sign me up. Yeah, as much as it breaks my heart, I don't, like you said, I don't feel a connection with that. Blondie, to me, Debbie Harry, has too much going on.
right.
I need to feel special. I feel like I can't feel special in that relationship.
Oh, I would never be in
Yeah.
a relation. I wouldn't be in a relationship with any rock star.
No.
Like, especially any rock star from that period, like
Yeah.
70s, 80s rock stars. I'm not being in a relationship with any of you because you're all fucked up and
Yeah.
probably very self-centered, you know,
Yeah.
and for a night, I would do it for one night to say I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Well,
Yeah. Well, we have a new patron.
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So I want to give a big shout out to Jessica Bain. Welcome to our Patreon family.
Bienvenue.
If you have any suggestions on anything that you would like to see on Patreon or anything that you would like us to talk about on the show, if there are any topics or FMKs that you would like us to do, please reach out to us.
Yeah,
we would
yeah.
love to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Sounds
Yes.
good.
Cute.
And we're back. All right. I think it's Cass's
It is
turn.
me.
Yeah.
It's me. It's me. It's me. Excuse me. So, I got my story from Reddit. I was crushed by the girl of my dreams. I just stood on the tracks while all my friends were screaming at the warning signs. But nope, blind me got train wrecked.
Yeah.
At any rate, another girl who was part of our social group was always fun and sweet to me, started checking up on me. We will call her Rebound.
Oh.
Turns out she knew the deviant things my ex was doing and was trying like heck to get my friends to open my eyes. I wasn't ready to date anyone, but one night Rebound and I decided to head out together, grab dinner, and hit downtown to blow off steam. She was living with her parents, early 20s, finishing school, not a big deal. And there were no weird vibes. I only knew her a little bit, so it was casual getting to know each other. We unexpectedly met up with another group who were partying hard. I was partying hard. I was driving, so I was just socializing. Rebound got pressured into doing a round of shots. I didn't realize she was a lightweight. Got way too drunk too fast. I got her out of there and she started panicking that she couldn't walk into her house that hammered. I said, no big deal. The night is pretty early. We'll chill at my place, sober you up, and get you home. No, I wasn't trying to be that guy. Pull into to park the car. She suddenly says, I don't feel good. Whips open the door and starts puking.
At least you got the door open.
Exactly. We've all been there. So I unbuckle and lean over to rub her back. And she rips the most unholy of rancid heat wave farts directly in my face.
Oh, no. Oh, it's so embarrassing for her and terrible for you.
I mean, singed my eyebrows and burned the roof of my mouth like I had just eaten.
You got it in your mouth.
Eaten a Totino's pizza roll right out of the oven.
No.
She is mortified and tries to crawl out of my car, presumably to die in shame. I sigh, blink the tears out of my eyes, and help her up. She had crawled through her own puke.
Oh, no. Baby girl.
While walking her to the door, she is continuing to puke and fart and cry and apologize. And at this point, I actually find it hilarious. She is a stinky, pukey, farty mess.
no.
And there is no way, and in no way is happy with herself.
Married.
I got her inside. She goes to the bathroom, empties her bowels some more into my toilet while puking into a garbage can.
What was in the shot? What was in those
Door
shots?
wide open. I get her.
Oh, honey.
You're so drunk you can't close the door.
I got her a change of clothes and suggest she showers. She can't stop apologizing. She can't stop apologizing and crying. I take her dirty clothes and throw them in a sink and do my gagging best to clean the puke out. She comes out of the shower looking like the saddest, most embarrassed hot mess I had ever seen, wearing a sweatshirt and gym shorts of mine. Lies down on the couch and falls asleep. I clean her clothes. Next morning, I do the drive of shame to her home while she just stares at her feet and apologizes. At any rate, we've been married 21 years.
I was going to say, yeah, of course they did. Of course they
Yes.
did. As soon as he started being like, oh, it was actually kind of funny, I was like, yeah, okay, because otherwise you'd be like, nah, never again, you know?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man.
The way it was written, though.
Like a Totino's pizza roll.
Oh my God.
stings.
We've talked about that on this podcast before, that like that's part of it too. It's just like you gotta just seal that mouth shut when it's something like that. The same way like you don't breathe at all when you're in a Venice Beach bathroom because it's like it's poop particles.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
we've talked about that. Like if you can taste it, those poop particles are in your mouth. It's science.
Yep. Yep.
Science.
No.
She crawled in her pew. Oh, God.
No,
Baby.
Pickles is a very silent but deadly bed farter.
Oh, no.
And his puppy farts are like, I mean, I'm like, I know what I feed you.
Yeah.
Where is this coming from?
Sir.
Like, did you eat shit and now you're farting?
Have you checked the litter box lately?
Right? Oh, I know. I know. I have to keep it clean because he is a pokey little puppy.
Oh no.
So, yeah.
Ew.
No.
He's like, yeah, Mom, I did eat shit. Nom, 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 nom. Let me lick your face.
Oh. Okay. Well, on that note, I will dive into my date. It's a woman here. I'm pretty sure I was someone's worst date in 2008.
Oh, is this the other side of Cassie's story?
Yes.
Right before I met my husband, I had been dating a bit here and there. There was this guy who worked in the same corporate park as me, but for a different company. He used to smile at me a lot and always wave and chat me up. He wasn't really my type, and it was clear he had confidence issues. One day when I was sitting outside eating lunch, he asked if he could take me to dinner sometime. I figured, why not? Maybe he'll turn out to be Mr. Right. I said yes, and we exchanged numbers and made plans for Saturday night. That Friday, my grandma passed away, so as you can imagine, I had to cancel. I had to fly to Bulgaria, where my family is from, for the funeral, so I was going to be gone for a week or more, so I told him we'd reschedule. He asked if he could call me out there. I told him I didn't think my cell would work, but I had Yahoo Messenger and gave him my email. We traded a few emails and chatted a bit on Yahoo, and he asked more than once if I was just flaking on him.
Oh.
Remember the whole self-confidence thing that I mentioned before? He was like, I know it's a long shot to get a girl like you to go out with me, blah, blah, blah.
At this
Just
point,
so
that
unattractive.
stuff, it's a hard pass from me when people start doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bad vibe.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. You would tell me if you're not interested, right? I swore to him and sent him some pics from my digital camera of me in Bulgaria with my family. Fast forward a few weeks and I'm back in the States, and reach out to him and let him know I'm back and ask if he wants to reschedule our date. We reschedule for the following Saturday night. Around lunchtime on that Saturday, I started to feel a bit sick.
Oh, no.
By 5 p.m., I still wasn't feeling great, and I was supposed to meet up with him at 7. I gave him a call, told him I wasn't feeling too great. He starts saying things like, oh, you're just canceling on me because I'm not good enough. Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Yep, that's exactly right. He made me feel really bad, so I agreed to go out with him, but told him I wanted to go to a diner instead of Italian like we had planned because I felt like I could probably only keep soup down.
These consequences, whatever they are on him.
Yep.
Yeah.
You tried to stay home, okay?
Yeah. Well, we met up at the diner, and I was feeling sort of better, but not great. I had some soup and bread and was feeling a bit better. We were talking and getting along pretty well. Then all of a sudden I felt it and couldn't stop it.
Oh, no.
I vomited all over the table.
Sorry.
Oh, no. Dude,
Sorry
I
about
warned
ya.
you. Warned you.
I have no sympathy at all.
Some even got on him. It was so gross. The waiter and a few other staff came over to help me. And a
Okay, I have
waitress...
sympathy for the
Yes.
servers.
Yes.
A waitress took me to the restroom so I could clean up. I was really feeling sick at that point and definitely felt like I had a fever. I had driven there and there was no way in hell I was well enough to drive home.
no.
I figured this guy would have ran like hell, but he was waiting for me outside the restroom to see if I was okay. He offered to give me a ride home. I ended up shitting my pants in his car.
Oh, my God. Is this the same?
I hope that he felt bad, and I hope that he never again tried to guilt a woman into going out when she wasn't feeling well.
He dropped me off. I never heard from him again, and also never saw him around the corporate park either.
Yeah, he's like steering clear.
The plague. He's like, I'm avoiding.
That's your turf
you
now.
Like the plague. I've changed jobs, actually.
Oh my God.
Okay. I had a crush on this girl in high school, but didn't have the courage to ask her out formally, so I kept dropping hints. At one point, she asked me if I want to eat dinner at her house, so I jump at the opportunity. When it gets close to the day of, she calls me and asks if it's okay that the dinner is
Oh no.
Sorry. The dinner is freegan. If you don't know what that is,
no.
it's okay. I didn't either. But I said, that's fine, whatever. And just thought it was some sort of foreign cuisine.
What's freegan?
I can't stop. No,
okay, I won't stop.
don't.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I just thought it was some sort of foreign cuisine I'd never heard of. I get to her house, and after a couple of minutes of my very bad flirting, a bunch of people show up, all bringing their freegan foods, and they want me to help them prepare it. At this point, I was starving, so I just want the food to be ready faster, so anything to move it along. I get to the kitchen where people hand me food and asked if I've ever eaten freegan food before. And when I said no, they explained that it is vegan food that they'd gotten from the dumpster.
Oh, no.
So I proceeded to slice off warts from cucumbers and put interesting looking fruit into the blender until we sat down to eat. Now, if you recall, I was very hungry at this point. Seeing the food before didn't help, but I wasn't going to run out now after all of this. I had felt like I had gotten closer to her because she had shared that part of herself with me.
Oh, no.
I ate more than I cared to admit, and once we were done, I was ready to talk to her about us. The doorbell rings, and her boyfriend shows up. Oh, no. He's eating this trash food. Literally garbage food.
Yes.
Right. She's like, you're such a good friend.
You're going to love my boyfriend.
Oh, God. I look.
Freegan.
Look.
Yeah.
Look, I'm all about like sustainability.
Listen.
And like, I don't want food to go to waste.
don't.
Okay. I don't like throwing food away.
Yeah.
You know, my cat just ate a piece of my pizza, and I'm probably
You're
still
gonna
going to
eat
eat
it.
it later.
Yeah.
For sure.
But you can't be pulling out like heads of like wilted cilantro from a Ralph's dumpster.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It is shameful how much we waste food, though.
It's
like
true.
there's like such a, I see it, but I'm like, ugh,
But also no.
practicality, I cannot. However, our friend Chris from Faces and Aces.
Oh,
He goes to this place in Koreatown in Los Angeles that does like basically for $40 they fill up your fucking car, and it's all food that would have been thrown away. It's like from airlines, it's from like different like places that are like it's past its like date for us to be able to use it and feed it to
You gave
like,
me
people.
some bomb ass tomatoes from there,
Dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're super good.
Yeah.
That kind of program and stuff like that, I'm hip
I'm in.
to and down for.
In.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I do think that needs to happen. And I know there are a lot of programs like that work with like shelters
Yes.
and stuff. Totally in support of that. But yeah, I cringe at the thought of
just the fact of getting into a dumpster to search out, like it just
yeah.
I guess it also depends on what it is. It's like you can wash off a tomato, but
Sure.
it's like what else was in that trash, and like what trash? Because like I know what goes into
Also-
my trash. I'm not taking anything out of my trash because I'm like, look, there's like kitty litter in there. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Like I'm not. There's no amount
Yep.
of cleaning a piece of romaine
Like
lettuce
hairballs.
well enough
Yeah, it's
that's
not
going
possible.
to like that's going to make it edible.
Yeah, no, this stuff
Sorry.
is also packaged, so that makes me feel better. And again, it has not been in a actual dumpster
No.
or trash can.
No.
Speaking of trash cans, can't wait to tell you my Tainted Love story.
Yeah.
Well.
Well. Here we are.
Yes. So I found this story on a new show that I found on Oxygen. And, you know,
Is that the sound?
yeah,
On
when
Oxygen?
you open the Oxygen app on your thing, it's like, like breathing. It's weird.
I don't
Anyway.
have the Oxygen app. It doesn't come with my Spectrum package.
What? You don't have Oxygen?
I don't know. It's a problem for another time.
Okay. I was like, well, if you get Oxygen, the channel on your thing, you can get the app. It's easy peasy. Anyway, lemon squeezy. So this story also, I got information from Murderpedia and another article that I forgot to write down. Anywho, I'm going to tell you the story of Scott Dell. Well, I'm going to tell you the story about Cheryl. Can't tell you for sure how to say her name because I've heard all three said.
Wow. Okay.
So it's spelled Cherylle. So
I would think it would be Cherrylle.
Cheryl. I heard Cherrylle. I'm going to say Cheryl because it's going to be the easiest way to get
All
through
right.
this thing.
Great.
Cool. So Cherrylle Dell lives in Ontario, Canada, and she meets Scott Dell. Scott Dell has moved to, well, she wasn't Cherrylle Dell at the time.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
going to ask.
sorry.
That was
Yeah.
the
Me
question.
too. I was like, did they have the
Spoiler
same last
alert.
name? Just skip that step.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Scott Dell moves to Canada in like the 60s because he had just turned 18. So he's trying to dodge the draft. Makes sense. Right. So he is 18 at the time. He meets Cherrylle, who is 17 at the time, and they fall. He is smitten kitten. She is just gregarious and like beautiful and just porcelain skin beauty. And anyone who has ever known her just speaks about how like she just puts a spell on people. Like she's just one of those people who is just, she's dynamic. She's got this personality that is just, you know, just attract.
That
She's
it factor.
She's got that it factor for sure, for sure. So they end up moving to this cute little town, and it's like a small town in Ontario. That apparently I've forgotten to write down because I wrote down every other thing in the world in here, but I did not write down the name of this town. It's because that's how good I'm doing today.
We can all picture it
Jesus.
though, like a cute little quaint Canadian town.
Cute, quaint Canadian town, small town, farming-ish community, but a very like hippie vibe. So like everybody describes it as kind of like,
Goals.
it kind of reminds me of Springfield or like outside of Springfield, like where Dave Chappelle lives.
Oh, Yellow Springs?
Yellow Springs, right?
Okay.
That kind of like Yellow Springs vibe where it's like country, but there's like just it's a bunch of hippies, right?
Right,
Who
yeah.
are like, we're going to live off the land and have this small community. And Scott fits in immediately. People are like in love with Scott. He is just salt of the earth guy, just this really sweet, gets along with everyone guy. And Cherylle's Cherrylle. Like she's got this like kind of wildish kind of thing. She dresses up in a fur coat to walk downtown. Like she's a little extra.
Vibes.
She's got vibes.
I like it.
For sure.
I mean, maybe not like faux fur, but like I dig the vibes.
She's just like, and she will talk to anybody, but people are also a little kind of like suspect of somebody who's that like
Extra.
Yes. Especially in a town like this where people aren't extra.
Live your
at
truth,
fucking
Cheryl.
all,
You live your
right?
truth. I'm in support.
Right.
Like city dreams in a small town.
That is, it's so Cheryle is city dreams in a small town. She is champagne and beer budget for sure. So they end up having 3 kids of their own, and they have this beautiful piece of land and a farm. And Scott is a real like dad. Like he loves being with the kids. He loves being a parent so much. And I don't love the way that Charmed to Death describes that they took in 2 foster kids to quote supplement their income.
Ooh.
Don't fucking love that.
That doesn't paint a good picture of them.
I hate that. That makes me disgusted. Like
Did
to
they-
supplement their income, they took in foster.
But was
2
that
foster kids.
speculation or was it like that's like fact?
I
Do we
don't
know that?
know.
Do we know that they were doing that for that reason?
I don't know for sure, but it is definitely what Charmed to Death said.
Wow.
So at any rate, hate that so much. Hate the idea that you took in kids because to supplement
Happens a lot.
It's fucking awful. It really does, and it grosses me out. There's a whole tangent here that I could go down, and I'm going to stay on track. So, at any rate, marriage seems to be going well, but Cheryle is Cheryle. She's a spicy chick, and she likes to get her groove on. And
young.
She's young.
How old is she at this point?
So this is like they met in the 60s.
And she was 17.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking, she's probably in her 30s now
Oh,
at
okay,
this
okay.
point. But she's been like, seeing some people around town, and she actually starts seeing this woman named Gay, and her and Gay are like an item, so much so that she's like, I want to leave my wife or my husband. And Gay's like, you should move in here.
Good plan.
Good plan. Leave your husband. Great. And Gay is like all about it because they actually met at a incest survivor community, and she had been telling these stories about her husband had been sexually abusing not just her but her children. So
Gay
now
has been saying this
no,
or
no,
Cheryl?
Cheryl.
Whoa.
Cheryl's like, I'm done with him. This is happening. So Gay's like, then you should really go to the police.
Yes.
But then Gay starts to get suspicious because her stories kind of keep changing. And she's like, this is a little weird.
That is a vile thing to make up about somebody.
So Canada isn't fucking around, though. They're like, oh, suspicious? Fine. Get the fuck out of this house. So Gay and Cherrylle are like, great, we got the kids and the house. And he's out because he is a dirtbag, right? But all his friends are like, how? And listen, I never want to suppose that somebody is not doing what they're doing. I don't want to not believe a victim if that's true.
Right.
But it seems as though with all of the research that they did, they quickly came to the understanding that this is not what happened.
So they removed him from the home, and then they did go ahead and do an investigation.
They did a full investigation.
So at least like an investigation was done. All right.
Oh yeah. They immediately were like, well, we need to know if this is fucking happening.
Yeah.
And so they did a full investigation, and they were just like, nothing's adding up. This isn't real. And it kind of felt like there were some stories going around that Cherrylle had been telling people that she just wanted to get rid of her husband, and that he was just, this was kind of the easiest way to do it. So like on top of this,
ugly.
really,
it's one, it's super fucking gross. Two, how many of these tainted love stories are we going to do where people just can't like stop like James Bond villaining themselves, where they're just like, they just give away their full like, here's my entire plan.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, it's also ugly for people that are going through something like that awful, because then people are like, well, sometimes people make it up. And
Right. Exactly.
That is exactly right.
It's fucked up. It's really harmful to real victims.
It's
so fuck her for
fucking
that.
harmful, and fuck her. You're so right. Fuck her for that, because this is the reason that people don't.
And it's
say
rare.
Something.
It is so fucking rare.
It
for
is
people
very
to,
rare
to make this stuff up.
Because it takes a real vile human being to
it does
make
not
something
happen
like that up.
very often.
Right.
So
Exactly.
when people choose to use it as an excuse of like, well, she could be lying, it's like, yeah, you can point to instances like this, but those instances are very few and far between.
Right.
Compared to the ones that are true.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
It's all of it's fucking vile. At any rate, Gay is just like, I think I've seen enough of this scenario. And she's like, I'm out.
Later
she's like,
days.
Deuces, I'm out. So she's like, she breaks up with Cherrylle, and they're like, they kind of stay amicable, they stay friends or whatever, but she's just like, that is too much baggage for me.
Right.
And so, and even though, and by the way, so not only now has she lost Gay, she also lost the kids because of this whole scenario, and she lost her farm because the courts were like, he gets full custody and he gets his farm back.
Yeah.
So sorry, bitch. Sorry about you fucked up.
Also, that's like her poor husband. Like, they'd been together for how long? Like,
Yes.
speaking of like, you think you know someone.
Yes.
Right.
It's like,
Oh
you've
my
been together
goodness.
for so long, and then this person tries to like destroy your life.
Yeah, accuse you of something so vile.
So
and
vile.
so awful.
Yeah.
That's got, I mean,
Horrible.
ooh.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
So anyway, she is like, fine, but I am going to divorce you. We're through. And so she starts the proceedings.
He's like, okay.
no, but he's not. That's the thing about poor
honey,
Scott. Because
Scott.
even when Scott found out about Gay, he was like, I mean, I guess we can still make this work. I'm okay if you keep her as a lover. I just love you so much, and I want you in my life. And then even after she goes to this extreme and accuses him of this vile act, he still is like, you know what? We could probably still make this work.
Baby, you gotta let him go.
Oh.
Because, okay, here's the thing. Like, my first instinct is to be like, oh, sweet baby Scott. But also, if somebody wants to go, you need to let them go. Like,
Right.
you need to let them go. Not only for yourself, but also, like,
for
that's
those
the right.
kids.
And it is also just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
If it's someone you love and you care about and they want to go, you need to let them go.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
the best advice.
And I think that eventually that is kind of where his head is. He's like, fine, we're going to get divorced. But then it turns out, literally just days before they're going to go through their court proceedings to finalize the divorce, he finds out that he has cancer. He has throat cancer, and it's not looking good. So he ends up, going through the surgeries, the chemo, the everything. And she's like, maybe we don't divorce because he's probably going to just die soon. And I'm going to get what I want anyway.
Ugh, I'm going to need a shower after this one.
It's awful.
Oh, she's gross.
So miracle upon miracles, though, Scott fucking makes it. He makes it through. All this time, by the way, she hasn't lived with them. She's also like, I'm not going to divorce you, but I'm also not going to live with you.
I'm not going to help you through cancer.
But I don't want to divorce you because, just in case.
That cha-ching at the end of this. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awful. So he does miraculously makes it to, remission. Like he goes through the thing, has multiple surgeries, all this stuff, like makes it into remission, is cancer free. And she, at the time, was like, had started seeing someone new. She started seeing this woman named Nancy. Well, Nancy and her have, Nancy, she'd met through an ad online, like not online, but this is like early 90s.
Like
Lonely Hearts.
Yes, exactly.
Column.
Like a column. Yeah. She met her through a column. She lived in Ottawa, came from money. So she's like, jackpot. This woman's great. And she's in love with me. And she just has a way with people where they just literally will are in love with her.
Is that about people? I mean, I feel like we've talked about that before.
Yeah, it's psychopaths. It's,
It
definitely a trait.
It is a very psychopathic trait. And I think that this woman is fully a psychopath. Like, listen, hashtag not a doctor, but the tendencies here, the way in which she's able to manipulate people to, do things for her. I mean, this woman
and
moves.
seemingly has like no empathy or comprehension for like what you're putting other people through.
Right.
Like, at least you're like a narcissist because like you can't even see.
Cannot see
How you're hurting anybody else.
Exactly. So this woman, Nancy, moves from Ottawa to be with her and is like, you know what? Yes, I will put up some money so that we can get this house. This sounds great. This is perfect. I want to be together. We're going to move in together. So they have a home together. And during this time, though, she's kind of still been keeping Scott on a little bit of a leash. Like, well, maybe we could work things out. So she sends over a bottle of wine to his house and is like, I want to talk about reconciliation. So,
Scott, listen, you know what? I feel like Scott needs a friend. It needs to be like that scene in Bridesmaids where she just like grabs her face and she's like, you are a beautiful ray of sunshine. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Scott needs that like positive affirmation. You don't need Cherrylle. Cherrylle is bad for you.
You want to talk about how sweet baby angel Scott is? Scott read all of his children's favorite books and recorded them.
In case he lost his voice because of his throat cancer.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry.
Fucking awful. So she's like, I send him this bottle of wine and she's like, let's get on the phone and talk about, kind of vision board our future together. Right. She's on the phone with him for 9 hours while he drinks his bottle of wine. And then the next day, his body is found in his son's bedroom. He is fallen. He's on the floor and there's vomit beside him. He's dead. So when the police get there, they see the bottle of wine and all this stuff. And they're like, the police call Cherrylle and they're like, hey, so your ex-husband died. Do you know anything about this? She's like, well, his cancer came back and he was really depressed. I mean, I don't know. And apparently in the room, this is why I'm like psychopath tendencies. She's like flirting with the police and the detectives and stuff. And it's like, yeah, he had gotten his cancer back. He didn't want anybody to know, but he was really, really sick. So, this is probably that. And they're like,
isn't that also verifiable? Can you go talk to his doctor?
Well, this is the late 70s, early 80s by this point.
And she's like, it's definitely, no, this is like early 90s at this point. So this is how long this has gone on.
Scott, sweetheart.
So she's like, yeah, it was definitely the cancer had come back. And all his friends are like, no, no, he was fully in remission. I'm so confused. And she's like, you know what, though? He really wanted to be cremated. So let's just go ahead and move forward with that. And they were like, okay, sounds good. Sounds like that's what it was. And his family was like, wait. His family was like,
One sec.
yeah, not on my fucking watch.
Thank God. Because I feel like so
Thank
often
you.
in these stories, like nobody intervenes.
The family was like, absolutely not. They literally only saved his body from cremation because it fell on a holiday. It was the 9th fucking hour. And they were like, nope, just kidding. We're not cremating this body. We're doing an autopsy. And in the autopsy, they found that he had antifreeze in his bloodstream. And Cherylle's like, well, you know, it makes sense because he knew he was going to be dying, but he knew that there was no way he was going to make it out of this alive. His doctor said he had like 3 days to live. I'm sure he wanted to go out on
His doctor said he had
days?
3 days to live.
That's awfully precise.
Right.
He wanted to go on his own terms, Christina.
Oh, and believe me, drinking antifreeze is a real
fun way
to
to
do
go.
it.
The fucking worst, right? Everything you hear about it, right? Is
She
the
stayed on the
fucking
phone
worst.
with him for 9 hours.
Make
This
sure
is so
she drank
gross.
that.
This
to
is
make
so
sure.
fucking gross.
Yeah.
So they said too that, you know, they're like, I can't believe he didn't taste it. But because of his throat cancer, he had lost a lot of his taste. So a lot of the treatments that he had through his throat cancer, he wouldn't have tasted it. And I'm like, if you can't taste wine, why are you even drinking it? Like, wine ain't that good.
For the
Like,
feeling.
For the buzz.
I guess,
Yeah.
maybe.
I love a red wine buzz.
It is true. I do love a wine buzz. We know how much I love
Yeah,
everybody.
Cassie gets very lovey-dovey on
I
wine.
love everyone. So she's like, yeah, you know, it makes sense. He was depressed. So, you know, maybe he wanted to take himself out. And fine. That's just the way it is. Well, and again, Cheryl, and she's like, not only was he re-diagnosed, not only has his cancer come back, you know, I'd also left him. I had told him there was no chance of us reconciling because I have a new girlfriend. Nancy and I are together. And so, you know, and the police are like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Cool. And just move right along.
Oof.
So Nancy, one of her good friends, comes to town and she's on this show and she's like telling the story. And I'm just like, you want to talk about crying? I was like, she's like, you know, I went out on the boat with my friend Nancy and she's like, you know, she complained, Cheryl had been complaining to Nancy about how awful he was to her, Scott was to her when they were married. He was so abusive. But it really kind of turned out that Cheryl kind of was the abusive one.
Yeah.
She would have marks on her wrists from Cheryl grabbing her and just really awful things. And her friend's like, you fucking have to leave this woman. And she's like, they were out fishing one day and she said, suddenly Nancy just broke down. And she's like, I could have stopped this. I could have stopped this from happening. She's like, Cheryl asked me to go buy the bottle of wine and the antifreeze. I knew it was happening. I knew all this time. She's like, and she told me the police are going to like blame me for it. And her friend's like, you must go to the police.
Classic abuser tactics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, you must go to the police and tell them what happened, what you know about his death. Like, this is like, you have to, if nothing else, just for your own sanity. Like, this is awful, right? So she does. She eventually does. And she's like, you know what? Like, I can't keep it in anymore. She goes to the police and she's like, hey, my girlfriend and I are fighting and I really just want to get my shit out of the house. And oh, by the way, she also murdered her ex-husband.
Okay, so who can
hey.
escort me over to the house? Anybody willing to carry boxes?
Right.
So,
Are we good?
Are we?
No.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what? Let's go back to that one thing you just said.
One sec.
Talk to me about that. So she spills all the beans. She's like, I bought the antifreeze. I bought the bottle of wine. She's like, I know the whole thing. I was at the house when she was on the phone with him the whole night. You know, like, this is like everything. Here's the plot.
Terrifying.
It's fucking awful. And so she is, you know, just spills her guts. And the police are like, they totally believe her, but they're also like, you should really not worry about the stuff that's at the house. You should probably get the fuck out of Dodge. You need to leave town. The police are like, you really should leave town. And, you know, like, obviously keep in touch because you're a key witness in this. But you really, it doesn't feel safe. And she's like, yeah, but I really just don't want to leave my stuff. honey, buy a new couch.
Yeah.
What is in
stuff
that
is
house?
replaceable. Or, wait till Cherrylle goes to jail and then you can come back and
That's right. Get all your shit.
pack all that shit up, know? Look, we have very tight friends, attachments. Of course, I've got Anthony. I've got close family attachments. There is fucking nobody who I would just be like, yeah. I'll just be in on this entire murder plot and just sit in the other room while you're on the phone with your husband while he drinks the wine that's laced with antifreeze and then keep quiet about it for X amount of time. There is nobody.
Yeah, but that's, I guess, the difference between being in an abusive relationship.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know,
that
when you
fear
trust
there,
somebody, and there's a little bit of fear. There's
that's what they're showing you exactly what they're capable of.
Absolutely.
A murder most foul.
A murder most foul.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. It's nothing to joke about with it, but it legitimately is. She's a fucking awful human being. And she's she is scared for her life. She really is. But she also at the same time is I don't want to leave because I just want to be here to get my stuff and, just be here for she just feels burdened that she cannot leave. And so, it's around this time that they end up kind of breaking up too. And so she does eventually, Cherrylle ends up moving out of the house. So she is able to get back in her house and everything. And then one night the neighbor hears some thumping on the floor above them. And she's like, and then suddenly the place is up in flames.
Oh,
wow.
And so the police are like, what in the fuck? They're like, this has to be related to Cherrylle. Well, they look, Cherrylle has a solid alibi. So the fuck happened, right? So Cherrylle had started seeing someone new because Cherrylle apparently cannot be alone. How can I make you hate Cherrylle more?
I mean,
she was having a sexual relationship with a 16-year-old boy. That should do it, huh?
She's going to manipulate whoever she can.
Yeah. So Cherrylle is now a pedophile who is now dating a 16-year-old. That's disgusting to even say. She's sexually manipulating a 16-year-old Brent Crawford.
Yeah, she's 50 by this point.
Yeah. And Brent is loose lips sink ships because he's telling all his friends. He's like, hey, that lady that burned in the fire? I did that. I went to her house. I knocked her on the head, knocked over some candles, barricaded her door, and deuced out.
Look, we have said this before, and we will say it again. Do not get teenagers to do this shit for you.
Don't get teenagers to do anything. They're worthless.
Well,
no, I mean,
but you guys,
your teenager's fine, but
yeah.
But
we're not whoever you are. We're not talking about you.
Yeah.
We're not talking about you, but.
Right.
We are saying in general, because
They're babies.
I did the To Die For one. Remember the one that
Yes.
Nicole Kidman? And same thing. I was like, you listen. You think you've got Pam Smart? I think was who that was.
Mm-hmm.
You think you've got them under control because you can play them like puppets on a string because with your sexual prowess or whatever. Because it doesn't take a lot because they're 16-year-old boys, but they're also stupid.
It wasn't just her sexual prowess, though, guys. She also paid him $300 and gave him a bike.
Oh, a
bike.
Oh my gosh,
bicycle.
that is so gross.
It's so dark.
That's really fucked up. Oh my god, a
Bike.
Ugh.
Did you just gag times 1,000?
Yeah, that's
Awful. Well, police are like, okay, we think we know that it's this Brett guy, right? Because we're pretty sure that she's manipulated. So they find all this out, and police are certain, like I said, Cherylle's involved. She got Brett to do this, or Brent, sorry. And so they do something that had been very successful for them in the past, which is that they hire they have an undercover police officer meet up with them. The reason that they did it this way is because apparently Brent was starting to get a little itchy, a little nervous, and was ready to hoof it. He was like, I think I'm gonna get out of Dodge. I think I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. And before he leaves, he's like, I am going to take this meeting, though, with this crime boss, who is the undercover detective.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got to pencil in this meeting before I get out of town.
And he sure does pencil in that meeting. And it does not take very long for him to confess to this crime boss that
crime bosses often meeting with 16-year-olds?
Often.
Like, I'm really impressed by your work.
I heard you did some work and I wanna know a little bit more about it. And he's like, Bring your killed CV. Nancy. Yeah. Let me tell you all about it. And he fucking did.
God damn it.
And he's like, and guess what? I got $300 and a bike.
And a bike. So,
wow. So
she won that.
Yeah. So it doesn't take long for the pieces of the puzzle to fall very quickly into place because Brent's like singing like a canary now. Now he's like, oh shit, I might go to jail for this? Bruh, I didn't think that was going to happen. So then he's like, it was Cherrylle because he's like, I ain't going down for that old ass pussy. Awful. So, however, during the court proceedings, the judge is very angry at the way in which they tricked him into telling his story.
Well, he is still, I mean,
he's a minor.
Yeah, he's 16.
Yes.
You can't just go doing that.
So he was sentenced to 10 years. 10 years for murdering someone.
Right.
Yeah. However, Cherrylle did not get away very easily. She was found guilty and of Scott's death, at least, and in 2001 was sentenced to 25 years. In which she will likely never make it out of prison.
Still, 25 years seems
doesn't
light
feel like
for
enough.
someone like this. Like, you need to take into account like all the information because that is not somebody who's safe to be around the general public ever.
Speaking of all the notes I should have taken down, there's an egregious there was no jury. She opted for a no jury, so it was the judge. The judge had some 13 to 20 page diatribe in which of the judgment. And was had a lot to say.
Yeah, I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
I could probably fill 13 pages of the just things I would like to say to someone like that.
13 is a guess.
First of all, how dare you?
Fucking
Number
awful.
one, how dare you?
Number one,
how dare you on how dare you, right?
Yeah.
How dare you to Scott? How dare you to Nancy? How dare you to your kids? How dare you to the 16-year-old fucking kid?
I'm sure, look, someone like this, it's a just devastation in her wake. Everyone she comes into
100%.
contact with, I'm sure, has a story because people like that don't know how to not use people. That's what they do.
100%.
So
that is her MO. Period.
I'm sure we don't even know the number of people she's hurt and the damage she's done.
Right.
I mean, very true.
Ooh, woof. That was
very intense.
That is
so intense, right?
Never heard that story.
Me neither.
I hadn't either.
Was the Oxygen show again?
Sorry, Charmed to Death.
Charmed to Death.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that seems like a show that I would actually like to watch.
I think it's new. It was just one of the episodes. I think it was the first episode actually, and it was
those people are so fascinating to me. The people who are just that
So
charming,
charming and so evil,
manipulative. The fact that you can just kind of just pull people into your web.
Meanwhile, me who will go through hoops to not ask anybody for the smallest fucking favor.
Yes.
And I freak out when I'm like,
would you
okay?
I love that. It was years ago and it's lived rent free in my brain, but it was a tweet that was basically hey, I would like to, can I just ask you this one small favor? If not, then that's totally okay.
Totally fine.
It's totally fine. In fact, if you want to just run me over with your car, that's also okay. And I'm
oh man,
that's highly
that's
relatable.
How I am. I'm just I cannot imagine living with I couldn't do it.
Oh no, there's no way. There's no way that anyone with a
conscience,
exactly, empathy, conscience, anything, you just how could you? Awful, fucking awful.
Yeah, T to B.
God, people are scary, aren't they?
Yeah.
What people are capable of is genuinely frightening.
It is frightening. It is absolutely frightening. The fact that too, she just goes in the police station and is like, this is nothing. I'm going to flirt with the police and it works.
That's embarrassing for those police.
It's embarrassing. It is. You're
Stop it.
Right. It's awful.
Come on.
Oh, we did say speaking of human trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's awful.
Wow.
Well, to switch topics, what are we watching this week?
What did I watch? Clickbait.
Oh yeah, you watched Clickbait.
I can't not talk about how much I love that
I
show.
liked it too. I thought it was good. See, I was conservative whenever discussing it on this show because I had heard from people that like it had not gotten like super great reviews.
I looked everywhere to find a bad review, and everybody's like, "How good is this fucking show?"
Oh, see, I'll see if I can find what I read. But
I need to know
because I had Googled it, and it was just like I think it was something that was like stream it or something, and they were like, don't watch it, basically.
Oh.
And other people had said like they were like, I don't know if I like the tone of it, but I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was phenomenal.
You know?
Maybe I went in because I had kind of got that vibe that was like, I don't know.
I got mad at the first episode that they kept watching the fucking video.
Oh, dude.
I was so mad. I was like,
stop watching.
But you know that's exactly how it would go.
yeah.
I was
if
just
it
like,
was real life.
But stop. What? Ugh. And I
But
was
for
like,
the sister, it
so
was like, why are
frustrated.
you still watching it?
Exactly. Yeah, I was like,
It took the wife being like, so the premise of this show for the listeners, because they're probably like, what are you talking about? Is that they upload a photo to this like site, and when the site reaches 5 million views, if it reaches 5 million views, this video, he would die. And the sister watched it like 5 times before the wife was like, hey, every time you watch that, doesn't it count as one of the
She's like, oh shit, you're right.
oh wow, I didn't
and I'm
think
like,
about it.
who doesn't know? I was like, I was so angry. I'm like, but
It's good though, and it is, if you like our Tainted Love segment, it is one
it
of
is
those.
very much a Tainted Love.
Yeah.
It is really fucking good though.
Yeah.
Dude,
I enjoyed it.
I was...
And also Adrian
Grenier.
Yeah.
Oh,
That man.
oh,
Yeah,
God
he's
bless him.
good
America.
looking.
Good looking man.
So I texted you as I was watching. It was like, so I had to look him up because I needed to see if we were compatible. Of course.
Yeah, you're looking at your star chart, your
I
birth
need
chart.
to make
yeah.
sure that we're
I
compatible.
did that with Oscar Isaac.
Dude, it's
When I saw
ridiculous.
that TikTok of the way he looked at Jessica
And he
Chastain,
kissed her arm.
Bless.
It was so. It was
Erotic.
Like I'm literally having goosebumps in my chest.
I'm sweating
right
in
now.
my armpits.
Like the way he looked at her, and then it was. There's something about kissing someone's arm. It's
Ooh,
giving
intimate.
me. It's giving me like
giving
Gomez
me-
Adams.
Yes.
Right? Like I'm getting like.
I'm getting like
It's
Gaga,
sensual.
Bradley Cooper vibes.
Yeah.
'Cause, I
But
mean, their
even
fucking
more because
spouses
it was like-
were there.
Right.
And she's like, silly.
Dude, for real. And I'm like, nah, you guys have fucked for sure.
And yeah, if I'm looking at my husband doing something like
looking
that,
at another woman like that,
Oh, no.
stop.
I'm
Sir.
Stop
9-1 fucking one.
Immediately.
man.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
I'm on the phone. No, I'm on the phone with one of you two. Like, will you please get a load of what's happening right now?
You
Am I
turn on
cra-
your camera.
Am I?
Am I?
Am I
wait,
overreacting? And you would
wait.
be like,
No.
No,
No, you gotta dump him.
Cass, you would have left immediately,
Oh.
and all his shit would have been on the lawn by the time he got home.
Burning.
Are
Burning
you
on the
kidding
lawn.
me?
Burning on the lawn because Mama love fire.
be like, waiting for exhale.
Yeah.
Gotta blow this shit up. Just Angela Bassett all in this bitch for sure. Yes, but sorry, you looked up Adrian to see if you were compatible.
To see if we were compatible, and I found out that he is 2 years older than me. I simultaneously was like, oh my God, we're totally compatible because he's older than me. I don't know why that's so weird. It's a weird thing for me. Secondly, I was like, wait, how in the fuck is he 2 years older than me? Because he looks like he's 10 years younger than
Look,
me.
I told you I watched that movie with Justin Theroux in it, and that man is in his 50s.
He's so
hot.
Dude,
If you
the fountain of youth is money.
Yeah,
we
no, it
all
is.
know
Yeah,
this.
we do.
That is, it is alive and well. and
I
it is
saw a
just
video
money.
with Kylie and Kendall's old faces recently,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's something. I have watched now the second to last episode of 9 Perfect Strangers, and I'm actually getting pissed.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
Like what?
What's happening?
What's happening? There's only one episode left. I'm like, I'm so over it. But by this point, I'm so far into it. I actually really don't think it's a good show, and do not recommend it.
Okay. See, I think we've taken a very similar path. I think everybody did with this show. And I agree, because having listened to the book on Audible, this show is not at all like the book. Like, it's not like the book.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was going to ask. I'm like,
No.
you read the book. Like,
It is
what
not.
the fuck
Like,
is going on?
I would definitely recommend reading the book, because this is not, it's not like this.
Like, why'd you even call it 9 Perfect Strangers?
Like, it's so loosely,
Yeah.
like very loosely based.
But this last episode, I was like, why did everybody make the weirdest choice?
And how
I'm
much
like,
do you want to like hit Yao? Because you're like, what the fuck are you doing,
I want to
sir?
hit
Like,
everybody.
what's happening?
Everybody. This show is bonkers bananas.
I agree.
And not in a good way.
I don't recommend it either.
It's
and I did
a
it
mess.
first. I did
It's
it
a
first.
mess.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Good. I'm glad I didn't.
I mean, I'm gonna finish it.
every day that I'm like, when I'm like have time to actually watch TV, I'm like flipping through and I'm like, do I?
Don't. No.
No, it's not worth it.
No.
I mean,
Okay, good.
I will say, Melissa McCarthy, a gem.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She is the highlight
of the show, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, what if 10 changes your mind? I guess you'll let us know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. But yeah, and then I'm also prepping myself for another October, which is a deal that I've struck with my boyfriend in that I do not love scary movies, and yet he is allowed full reign of a bunch of different horror movies, and
Yes,
he's got
yes.
October all planned out.
Oh, no.
You know that's my favorite shit.
And I think we're starting off with the new Candyman.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I haven't seen it yet because I haven't had time to breathe in the last month, but I wanted to see that in theaters. Like, ooh, it looks so good.
So
Looks like it's not for me.
So yeah, keep thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
for
Right
your-
to, right to
Sending them
Christina.
right your way.
What about you, Keegan?
I mean, I started watching Paranoia, which is this like, because you know how much I love a British procedural crime show. You know I do. And it has a woman who was in Game of Thrones in it. And, you know, as always, acting is superb, but her character is annoying to me. Like, she's very like needy and talks a lot and is very like, I can't get into the story
The meat of
because she's annoying me so much.
Right.
So who knows? It might be something that I keep trying to chip away at.
Yeah.
But
Right.
as of right now, like 3 episodes in, I wouldn't recommend it personally for me.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have books we should read or shows we should watch, if you have stories to tell us,
Send us those stories.
Yes, please go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstatepodcast.com. And we love you so much.
Cheers.
Introducing new Benefion's Wrinkle Smoothing Eye Cream by Shiseido. Now even better to boost smoothness around the eyes. 96% saw reduced wrinkles and diminished dark circles in just 7 days. Find Shiseido Benefion's Wrinkle Smoothing Eye Cream at a Macy's near you. Tested by 110 women.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.